We finally found how to get the bicycle in Dying Light 2, and yes, there's totally a way to keep it. Also a way to keep other secret items and Easter eggs outside of their challenges, so I'm going to show all of that in this video. And by the way, you still have time for our February giveaway for a free copy of Dying Light 2, and I'm also doing a second one with Instant Gaming for a free game of your choice. Simply be subscribed to the channel, follow the links down below, and I will reach out to the winners at the end of the giveaways. Now let's begin with the bicycle. It's finally found. You can totally use it. Yes, there's a challenge and there's also a way to keep that bicycle at the end of it, to pretty much use it wherever you want to. In the city, against enemies for some reason. It doesn't matter, but again, it involves some of those demonic rubber duckies. But in this case, it's not going to be like just 5 and black ones, how it was with the Doom Easter egg, but instead there will be 7 quick ones that are also red colored. So starting with the quarries and district, you can find the safe that contains the duck at the second floor of this building right here. Simply jump over and you can find the code that gives you the hint for that safe in this box in front of the bed. If you're too lazy for that, it's 22, 67 and 66. The second one is going to be just northeast of the downtown district. You will have to climb up the collapsed highway right here where you will find an encampment. Now the safe is going to be in the back of this truck, but you can find the code outside at this dining table right here. The code, if you're again too lazy, is 74, 17 and 76, which is basically the date of the announcement of the US Declaration of Independence, but it starts with the month and not the day, in case you got that wrong. The third one is going to be located in New Dawn. What you have to do in this case is to climb up the second floor of these apartment blocks right here, and the safe will be located right in front of you at the back of this room, but the code will be located inside this drawer on the wall right of the entrance. It's going to be 10, 28 and 64 in this case, but the number 4 one is going to be west of the muddy grounds at the border with the wharf region. So inside of this GRE room that you can unlock with the key, you're going to find both the code as well as the safe. Now the hint I think is pretty clear: 101010 or 3 times 10, and that should unlock the safe for you. At number 5 we have one just south of St. Paul Cathedral, and you can find another GRE room right here that requires unlocking. Again, everything is inside and the code this time is 851945, and also don't forget to loot everything inside, just like in the case of the previous GRE base. Moving on, number 6 we have Newfoundlands. Another one is going to be located inside this diner by the side of the road. Now the safe will be located inside of the kitchen area, and if you look right behind you at the bar, you're going to see that there's a safe code hint right there. In this case it will be 4, 5 and 9, and that should open up the safe for you. And this brings us to the final red duck location, which is going to be west of the Garrison district on this side of the map at this Night Runner safe zone that, by the way, you can also go ahead and activate. Now the safe will be inside of the safe area, but the code hint will be at the top of this structure. If you're too lazy to find that, also just type in 966, and that is going to give you the 7th and the final red rubber ducky. And once you're done with all of that, you can pretty much go back at the VNC tower location, and specifically that skyscraper just west of it, right next to the train station, because on the side of it next to the river, onto one of its pillars, you're going to notice that there's now a bicycle that wasn't there before. And guess what? It's totally going to be a challenge. I think it's a pretty unique one, and I think this is my favorite of the challenges that we had so far associated with Easter eggs. Now the thing about this is that it's pretty fun. It's filled with traps, so be careful with that. For some reason I got gold by complete and utter mistake, but as I've said, there is a way to keep that bicycle at the end of it, and that's basically by throwing yourself with the bike off the building and failing the race. Preferably throwing yourself right in the place where the race started, so that if you fail it, you're going to notice that bicycle dropping right in front of you. And I've done this a couple of times. It always works. As long as you're just failing the challenge and throwing the bike off the building, you're always going to see it fall. That's why I suggested just throwing it at the start of the race, since it's way easier to take it back rather than maybe closer to the river where it might get lost. But otherwise, it's a pretty fun thing to use. Obviously, it works outside of the challenge. You can just roam the city with it for as long as you keep a hold of it. The only downside is that it despawns if you load or fast travel into a different area of the city, but luckily the trick doesn't take more than a few seconds to do, so you can repeat it and take a whole new bicycle. And the same trick applies to the Kadoom shotgun from one of yesterday's Easter eggs that we covered, so you should totally check out that video too, since it explains how to activate that. But during that Doom level you also get this really powerful shotgun that also holds a lot of rounds, 1993, which is also the year that I believe the first Doom came out, but nonetheless there's a way to fully keep this outside of that level. So basically, first make absolutely sure you don't have any accessories upon you, simply just empty your inventory and take them out of their slots, and then start the level, point at which you're going to notice that the shotgun will be added in your inventory. From this point on, simply play for a couple of rounds, like no more than 30 seconds give or take, and then Alt F4 or completely quit out the game if you're playing on the console. And once you're loading back in the game, you're going to notice that you're outside of the Doom level, but also inside of your inventory you're going to notice that there's a brand new really powerful shotgun. Now obviously this is another hand cannon slash pistol sort of thing that you only hold in your left hand, but it's way more powerful than the Doomstick and definitely way more powerful than anything you have in terms of firepower in Dying Light 2. It's going to one-shot and completely rip enemies in half, be it zombies or humans, and it's all around just cheating in my opinion, but it's so damn satisfying since we don't have too much firepower in Dying Light 2. And this, ladies and gents, brings us to the final item on the list, this pair of flip-flops right here that you can get for almost free, and they also come with a cool effect, which is the fact that they automatically roll your character when you fall, so they might be able to prevent some damage in case you're too lazy to press a button or do not have the active roll ability. Now basically you find this back at the fisheye right here inside of the small house by the side, where you get to sleep with your character or like just activate your inventory. Now the thing about this is that there's a number of side quests that could trigger these items to appear on this chair, and specifically you can go ahead and do the book club, which is a series of side quests at the wharf, or otherwise just complete any other side quest or finish the game. I know it sounds confusing, but there's mixed reports and I've tested a few. Some of them worked for me, some of them didn't, but obviously in this case the book club was the one that worked for me. And once you do that, you can come back at the house, you can go onto the balcony and sleep onto this bed. And once you've done that, you're going to notice that there's a brand new pair of boots that are waiting for you on this chair, which again work pretty nicely. This is it though, thanks so much for watching. As always, totally let me know down below if you found any other cool things or secret items, and as always I'll see you guys in the next video.